Hi guys. I want to talk about, let me say, today's topic is about rushing. And rushing things tend to mess up what's meant to be. And sometimes we get so caught up in the moment that we don't realize what we're saying and what we're doing. And one thing, if I haven't learned anything already in my 30 plus years of life, is don't rush on anything. When the time is right, it'll happen. And I feel like anything that's for you, that's meant for you, will always be for you, no matter what the circumstances are. So you never have to rush, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, anything that you're looking in your life to rush, because I feel like when you're rushing into things, you need to really stop and really think and really have that one-on-one time with yourself. Because what is it that you're missing? What is it that you're trying to fill a void when you're rushing, especially when you're rushing a relationship? You know, I do believe people meet for a reason. Maybe it's for a season, maybe it's temporarily, maybe it's to even meet someone to give you a message. Maybe God only wanted that person in your life for a short amount of time just to hear the message He's trying to tell you for your life. And that's where we get so misconstrued, because we don't allow God to work in our lives. We want to keep people that we feel that is so valuable to us or that's good for us longer than they're supposed to be. Only God can determine who's going to be in your life forever. You just have to let things work itself out. You just have to trust Him. And just like I always say, trust your process. Trust God too, because He knows exactly what He's doing in your life. You know, I admire those people who are patiently waiting, even though without knowing how long they may do it for. Not rushing things to happen. I always look at like my past experiences in life, and I always, one thing you never want to do, or I never want to do either, is make the same mistakes. And sometimes when we connect with people and we share our hearts and we share that intimate moment, it's like we forever want to automatically just take it to the next level. And one thing I learned is you can't do something you don't feel. And if you don't feel it, you can't make it happen. And then we tend to get hurt when we don't realize that, we may have said something, we may have overstepped our boundaries. Whatever the case may be, I don't know what anyone is going through in their lives, but I do know that I'm just learning to continue to grow. And I promised myself that I wouldn't fall back into the old traps or into my old ways. That I'm definitely seeking this time for myself. And it's more important. And you should never feel like you have to give someone an excuse just to be by yourself. You should never feel like you need to tell them something, whatever, just so that they didn't have to question your one-on-one time. Having that time for myself or having that time for yourself is so important. We don't look at our patterns in our life. We don't look at our inconsistencies. We don't look at what we failed, what we've been through. And strongly, we don't really evaluate our relationships with people. We don't value them because we don't really pay attention to the part that we play. We don't pay attention to things that happen that didn't work out. And instead of trying to create another situation, you should really evaluate and have time to yourself. You should really figure you out. You should live life, get one, and get in tuned with your Heavenly Father. I encourage that, because how can you give somebody something that you can't give yourself? How could you want to create a relationship if you haven't created that relationship for yourself? How can you add positivity to someone's life if you're not positive yourself? You have to add to you first. Somebody in your life should never take anything from you. They should add to you as well. Sometimes it's hard for us to hear those things. We don't want to. And I truly believe everybody wants to be in love. I want to be in love. But do I personally think that is the right time to be in love? Sometimes we need to evaluate our lives. Maybe it is not the right time for us to be in love. Maybe we need time to work on ourselves. That's the hardest thing. But other people don't understand. And that's when it's like, I would respect someone so much more if they just say, you know what, hey, I just need to do this. I need to do this for me. I need to have time for me. It's not personal, It's just one of those things where it is what it is, And I've just learned to really, I trust my process, And one thing I never like to do, and I know most people, they don't want to hurt anybody. I never want to hurt anybody. And to my beautiful souls, if you're relating to anything that I'm saying, if you're battling what I'm talking about, I encourage you, and I want to tell you, if you feel down or discouraged about something that you're trying to rush and it didn't work out in the way that you wanted it, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Doesn't mean that that person that's meant for you is not out there. It just means that that person is not for you. And sometimes we need to understand that, we need to respect that. Because I'd rather know that someone's not for me early than later. But I'm not going to lie, it does hurt, different things in our lives when we go through, different situations with people. And one of the things that always gets misconstrued as far as my personality goes is I'm a very loving and caring person. And I care. I genuinely care about people. I genuinely care about each and every one of you beautiful souls. And so when I am being raw and I'm being honest, it's great that people can adapt and relate, but I don't always want to be anything or do anything further. It means that I genuinely am giving you a response. I genuinely care as a person, as a human being. Because I feel like each and every one of you guys, you matter. And if you find that person that's in your life that's positive and that's uplifting, that's great, then hold on to it. But if that person is not staying, don't force it. Sometimes it's hard to take that pill and swallow it. I truly encourage, and I've talked about this in one of my audios, take care of yourself. When you're 100% you and you're 100% taking care of what's best for you, I promise everything that you ever want will fall into play. Anything that you're confused about, I say, pray about it. Anything that you're not sure about, ask God. Talk to Him. He won't stir you in the wrong direction. He won't lie to you. He won't cheat you. He won't hurt you. So, with that being said, pay attention to your actions. Pay attention to the words that come out of your mouth. Pay attention to the things that you say and do. Remember, everything's a reflection of our insecurities when we're not ready to face certain things that we're not ready for. Don't rush the process. Don't rush the process. Trust the time. Trust that you have this. And I promise it'll all work out.